Let's get into the details of the AM News. The Ghana Journalists Association has issued a stern warning about the devastating impact of illegal mining, or galamsey as we call it, on the environment, especially on the country's water bodies. GJA President Albert Dumfo, delivering his speech at the 2024 GJA Awards night, insisted that their call for an immediate declaration of a state of emergency on all water bodies and the revocation of LI 2462, which permits mining in forest reserves, remains in effect. Clinton Yeboah has more.
The Ghana Journalists Association President Albert Dumfo delivered a fiery speech holding the country's leaders accountable for the growing menace of illegal mining, also known as galamsey. No one was spared as Dumfo directly addressed President Akufo-Addo, who was seated right front of the packed audience as the special guest at the GJA Awards.
We are aware that some time ago, Mr. President, the father of the nation, made a firm vow to stop galamsey. But regrettably, that promise has not been fulfilled, Mr. President. You are barely 3 months until the end of the administration, and we are hopeful that you will deal with the situation before you leave office. We still maintain that a state of emergency must be declared over our water bodies, and all planned and active mining concessions overlapping with river buffers should be abrogated, and all mining activities within 100 meters buffer of all rivers and streams should be halted with immediate effect. We also reiterate that LI 2462 should be repealed immediately.
The GJA president then turned his attention to the presidential candidates of the two major political parties, John Dramani Mahama of the NDC and Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia of the NPP, urging them to show greater commitment to ending illegal mining. In a passionate appeal, he also demanded the release of several anti-galamsey protesters who are currently facing trial for what police described as unlawful conduct during last week's 3-day demonstration.
But I want to take this opportunity, Your Excellency, to implore these two leading candidates, presidential candidate and all other presidential candidates, to make a firm commitment to the fight against galamsey, so we can hold them accountable when any of them assume office in 2025. However, we also believe that remanding the protesters for 2 weeks is too extreme and does not send positive signals when it comes to protecting human rights.
When President Akufo-Addo took the stage, however, he notably avoided addressing the issue of galamsey, despite a direct call from the GJA for his response. Illegal Mining Reporter of the Year, Erastus Asare Donko, expressed his disappointment in the president's silence on the matter.
I am disappointed tonight that when the GJA president spoke confidently, emphasizing the grave nature of illegal mining across the country and appealing to the president that he should do something about it before he leaves office. I was expecting that the president would make mention at least of illegal mining in his speech, especially at a time when, as a country, all your major rivers across the country are highly polluted and contaminated. And that did not push the president to even mention illegal mining, even for a second, in his speech. That, to me, is a big disappointment.
Reporting for Joy News, my name is Clinton Yeboah.
Moving on, NPP for Ifiduasi Asokoro in the Ashanti region and campaign coordinator for the party's Middle Belt campaign, Dr. Nana Ayew says the NPP government will not take any action to stop the illegal mining menace as it will affect the party's electoral fortunes. Dr. Nana Ayew, who is a public health expert and currently the chairman of Parliament Health Committee, was speaking at a campaign event, and he insisted that the party will lose parliamentary seats if it takes any action on illegal mining. Let's listen to him.
Small scale mining, community mining, and different from Togo for the working out before the last month, and this is for the other group of fee or that. Prayer. But we are going after them. Me say, the operation we have started this week in the middle belt. Because the second on say, Obeboy am a young microphone, and it's already a fan of my body. The Casa Mountain, Cabrano who said we are winning the seats in the mining areas. So they decided to go and import foreigners. No one never buy no man can shop to say, we'll call it red. I'm going to go. What's it called? So I'm going to. I'm ready for one the whole year. It's so I a problem that. And you are my that started. And you will be done or per se. And can almost hear Nanka speak. Nanka ya call, Nanka ya stopping that I'm saying for Nanka ya losing a season. Yes, the pure one. Yes, the pure one. Because there is a difference between mining in the forest at a small scale or community mining. And there's a difference between mining in the river bodies. I want them to stop them. Obibia or mining war. In so one of Oya Nipa Bonini. Now go for some baby Chiaka. And it was a phone and a Chiaka. There's a money, a fee. I'm going to do a one who I listen for. I'm going to have a chance. I'm going to be. And so I'm going to do galamsey. I'm going to say, in so good yellow, I'm going to say, galamsey. No, you very well said. I want to go for about you. I will get you a problem. Me say, all the research is showing that mining season and losing now, we are cutting it back.
Well, there you have it. In other stories, presidential candidates for the Movements for Change, Alan Tremantin, has condemned the arrest of the 52 protesters from Democracy Hub who were arrested after demonstrating against illegal mining, commonly known as galamsey. And speaking at a press conference at the Ghana International Press Center, Alan Tremantin expressed his utter dismay and condemnation for what he deems as an unjust incarceration of the protesters. The following report has more.
Alan Tremantin believes the Stop Galamsey Now protest reflects the collective frustration of Ghanaians at the government's inability to address the environmental destruction caused by galamsey.
Today, I join many Ghanaians from all over the country in expressing my utter dismay and condemnation for the continued incarceration of several young Ghanaians belonging to the Democracy Hub, who took to the streets a few days ago to express their anger and frustration at the government's inability to deal drastically and substantively with the challenge of illegal mining, otherwise referred to as galamsey.
He criticized both the current MPP government and the NDC for their failure to deal with the menace over the past 3 decades.
The protests have exposed the failure of the current MPP government and the predecessor government of the NDC over the last 2 years to manage the natural resource endowment of our beloved country in a sustainable way, and to optimize the benefits of these resources for the Ghanaian people.
While acknowledging that some of the protesters' actions may have been excessive, he argued that peaceful assembly and expression are constitutional rights. He therefore finds it unreasonable that the police have brought charges of unlawful assembly after allowing the protest to continue for 3 days.
Admittedly, the acts of some of the protesters in the demonstration under reference were excessive in form and character and may have constituted a breach of public peace and order. But let me be clear that it is within the constitutional rights of any and every Ghanaian to express freely their opinions and to assemble in pursuit of their constitutional right of freedom of speech, expression, and movement.
He described the subsequent denial of bail for the protesters as an abuse of judicial discretion. Alan Chamatin also criticized the police for preventing those arrested from accessing legal counsel, medication, and contact with their families, and described their continued detention as unlawful and unconstitutional.
Surgeons involved in the Operation Smile Ghana project, which focuses on reversing palate defects and reconstructing facial features, have raised concerns about the growing number of patients with congenital conditions. Dr. Elliot Akoboham is a lead surgeon, and he highlighted that many of the affected individuals come from areas impacted by illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey. While no concrete evidence has been established, Dr. Boham suspects that the consumption of chemicals and heavy metals from polluted water bodies may be contributing to the rise in these conditions. There's more in this report.
Dr. Boham revealed that many of the patients undergoing surgery have congenital defects affecting their lips and palate. The procedures, he explained, focus on reversing palate defects and resetting the nose and palate to restore normal function and appearance. He, however, raised concerns about the increasing number of patients from areas affected by illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey, and emphasized that the destruction of the country's water bodies through galamsey not only affects the environment, but also poses long-term risk to unborn children.
We don't have hard evidence, but if you make a pool of patients and you haven't quite a number coming from such areas, you would naturally attribute it to some of these agents in our water bodies. But so a few of the patients we say are syndromic, so they have genetic problems, associations to that. So they may have the cleft lip or palate, but they may also have heart disease or problems with their spine, or their fingers are stuck together, or they have cutaneous anastosis, something like that. So basically, as I said earlier on, you don't really know the exact cause, as you would say malaria is caused by the bite of a mosquito. We can't put a finger exactly on this particular cause, but we know there are a lot of associations. It's been a national topic. This has been a national topic, and we're all concerned about how our water bodies are getting destroyed. And for nothing at all, this is a clear evidence that it's not just about the present or even the immediate destruction of the water bodies, but kids and those who are unborn. The repercussions are dire. We need to really curtail this to make it a better Ghana for us all to live in.
Programs Manager for Operation Smile Ghana, Felicia Babanawo, explains their desire is simply to put smiles on the faces of the people with such conditions, and they are determined to support the hospitals to undertake such endeavor.
Basically, what we do is to provide a comprehensive cleft care, right from when we find the patient or when the patient is born. We take the patient through nutrition program until they are ready to undergo surgery, because malnutrition is one of the consequences that come with clefts. So we take them through a nutrition program until they are well nourished and are ready for surgery. And then after that, we sequence the patient for surgery, which we do either through a short-term surgical program or a hospital-based program. After the surgery is done, we have other comprehensive care components like speech and language therapy, especially if the patient has cleft palate. And then we also have dental to actually restore the dental function of our patients. So that's basically what Operation Smile does when it comes to direct patient care. Aside that, we try to strengthen the health system that we work with, whereby we train healthcare providers to be cleft competent. When I mean cleft competent, this is not a usual condition within our health system. So we build the capacity of healthcare providers so that they are able to see cleft children, provide care to them to the standard that is required.
Some of the beneficiaries shared with Joy News how excited they are.
I was so depressed that they can't do anything about it. But when I saw my colleague coming from the surgery room smiling, so I was like to be smile or not. Whether they can do it or they will not. I do not know that they can do anything to be corrected by this. So I thank them. I thank them. I don't know how. I'm grateful. I'm very grateful to see my baby in this condition.
Moving on, residents of Dungu, a suburb of Tamale in the Tamale South constituency, have heaped praises on the NPP parliamentary candidates Musa Fusaini and the flag bearer Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia for reshaping a major road that connects the community to other parts of the area. The residents said the deplorable nature of the road used to be a nightmare to motorists, especially during the rainy season. They made these remarks during the reshaping of the road.
The reshaping of the major road in the Dungu electoral area comes as a relief to the people considering how deplorable the road used to be. The Dungu road links several communities including the University for Development Studies to the regional capital. But the bad nature of the road makes it difficult for commuters to use. Speaking to Joy News, a resident of Dungu, Rabia Isa, said the road was so terrible it affected pregnant women who plowed the road.
The terrible nature of the road made it so difficult for motorists to ply. Most pregnant women were unable to visit the hospital for antenatal care, but now we are happy. After the reshaping of the road, we are able to use it. We are grateful to Honorable Fuzi and Dr. Bawumia.
A former assemblyman for the area, Haruna Momoni, said several appeals to the Member of Parliament for the Tamale South constituency did not yield any results.
We have an MP who is former minority leader, Haruna Idrisu. He has been here for long, almost 20 years. And this road has been there for long. The Dungu community has been crying all the time. All I will come and help Dungu. UDS is in Dungu. Everything is in Dungu. And the road is more trouble. The road, you can't, our women, our friends, even UDS Syrians, they can pass here.
The New Patriotic Party Tamale South parliamentary candidate Musa Fusaini accused the incumbent Member of Parliament of neglecting the development of the area, adding that he cannot boast of any meaningful development he's brought to the constituency.
We are reshaping the road to ensure motorists are able to ply the road without any discomfort. We have an MP who is in Parliament for 20 years but has no developmental project to point out in the Dungu electoral area. Honorable Fuzi is not an MP yet, but already bringing development to your doorstep. Give myself and Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia a trial, and you will never regret it.
Parliamentary candidate.
Now, the Multimedia Group Limited once again asserted its dominance in the Ghanaian media landscape, grabbing a remarkable 9 awards at the 28th Ghana Journalists Association Media Awards. The event held 2 nights ago at the Accra International Conference Center, where Multimedia Group winning most awards, Jamila Abagri, was at the ceremony for Joy News.
You have won the radio program of the year English. Ladies and gentlemen, with another big round of applause, shall we congratulate our friends from the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM from the Multimedia Group.
The announcement of the Super Morning Show as the best English radio program at the 28th GJA Awards held last night. It capped a tall list of awards swept by the Multimedia Group on the night. Joy News PM Express Show was named as the best TV program. The GJA honored several of the company's journalists and contributors, including 2023 PAV Answer Journalist of the Year, Erastus Asari Donko, whose work tackling illegal mining activities in the Apaprama Forest Reserve titled Forest Under Siege, won him Illegal Mining Reporter of the Year.
I think it's a testament to the fact that this fight against illegal mining is one pertinent issue today in Ghana. And I think all stakeholders are recognizing that right now.
Muftar Nabila of Joy News won Sport Journalist of the Year, whilst perennial winner David Andor won yet another the Photo Journalist of the Year for his work capturing a pregnant woman failing potholes in the Ashanti region town of Boase.
Excited, but what I can say is that it's a responsibility that has been placed on my shoulder. This suggests that the work I do, people pay attention.
Kwesi Deborah won Science and Technology Reporter of the Year, with Clinton Yeboah winning Student Journalist of the Year.
I feel excited and I feel honored that I've been awarded or been appreciated for what I do. Highlighting human interest stories have been one thing that has been very important to me, because somehow when I highlight these stories, when I do these stories, I don't do them for the affected people. I consider myself in the shoes, because I feel it can be me, it can be everybody. So I take a particular interest in highlighting the plight of people in the stories that I do.
This year's celebration brought media giants and institutions across the country together under the theme 75 Years of Excellence in Journalism, the role of the media in democratic governance and elections. GJA President Albert Dumfo called for improved conditions of service for journalists.
Given the current economic actions, it is a well-known fact that journalists and media practitioners are among the lowest paid professionals in the country. I want to take this opportunity to plead with the government and the information minister to champion the financial well-being of journalists and resource the state-owned media.
President Akufo-Addo applauded the bravery of journalists in shaping the country in the right direction.
Over the years, I've had the privilege of witnessing firsthand the critical role the media plays in our national life. I have seen how your dedication and courage have shaped our democracy. And as my presidency draws to its end, I could not pass up the chance to honor personally this gathering of Ghana's finest journalists.
75 years of excellence in journalism, the role of the media in democratic governance and elections. The Multimedia Group bagged 9 awards and continue to be the beacon of fearless, independence and credible journalism. Reporting for Joy News, Jamila Abagri.
From that beautiful report from Jamila, let's now wait for the business updates by Benjamin Akakpo.
Welcome to our business updates for today. Now, the Acting Commissioner of Insurance, Michael Kofi Ando, is calling for significant investments into research, which will birth innovative insurance products for the informal sector. According to him, a lot of the insurance products on the market do not suit the local Ghanaian economy. He spoke at the launch of the inclusive insurance clinics, which are expected to improve coverage in the informal economy.
Two key things we are trying to do on both the supply and demand side. On the supply side, we are trying to do the capacity building, develop the skills of people so they can learn about all the things they need to do to effectively get insurance out to those who need them. And on the demand side, we are trying to do these clinics, raising awareness of the people who need these insurances so they will know what kind of insurance they need, what they can use it for, and when to get it, and when they have a problem, where to go and who to talk to. We need to find ways around making it attractive, making it suitable to our people. So innovation becomes very key. And that is why, indeed, in the Insurance Act, there is provision for innovation. So you must have heard about innovative insurance licenses. And that is just a sandbox system to encourage people to come up with innovations and to test those innovations and see how they operate before they bring them out to the market.
In our second story, the Ghana Exim Bank is asking small and medium enterprises to apply for technical and financial support from financial institutions. According to the head of SME banking, Bright Evans Darko, SMEs should take advantage of the SME Growth and Opportunity Program to boost their operations. He spoke to Joy Business.
For SMEs who want CAPEX, want to build factories, want to buy machines, they have up to from 300,000 to 20 million Ghana cedi in loans. And for those who want working capital to boost their business or their operations, they also could take from 300,000 to 20 million Ghana cedi. It's available for them. For the CAPEX, they could have it for 6 years and with a maximum of 2 years moratorium. For the working capital, they could have it for 3 years with a moratorium of 6 months. You can apply online through our website, www.eximbankghana.com, or you could go to any of our 5 branches, pick an application form, fill it. There are requirements at the back page that you need to meet, documentation that you need to attach to the application form and submit to us. When we receive it, if you qualify for it, we process it, approve it, and then you get a facility.
It's a wrap for all the business updates. Handing over back to Sweetie Habochi.
Up for the AM news on the AM show. Stay with us because now the conversations begin. Let's start with a news review. And we'll be joined by Nana Yachapim Jantua, former General Secretary of the CPP, as well as Afel Moni, former GJA President. Stay tuned.